Hello there. Welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about mindset. This is Kamna Jain, and I'll do my best to help you understand a few things about mindset and what can you exactly do to make sure that you use it to your favor in various situations in your life. And I'll also share how my mindset has been going through life. All right, let's jump right into it. First of all, what is mindset, right? I mean, I'm not going to give you the definition, but I'll tell you why exactly am I talking about it. Now, according to me, mindset is, basically what you feel, how you react when certain situations come your way, right? Because it's literally, they say, right, this is what I think, right? If you beat someone or if you hit someone, not both the people will, feel that pain with the same intensity. For someone, if you actually, beat someone who's like, oh, well built bodybuilder or a wrestler, he'll probably not even feel it. But at the same time, if you hit someone who's like sensitive, right, they're going to feel it very intensely. And that's actually going to affect them probably, it will take them some time to recover, right? That is also what mindset is. That's just an analogy. But what I think is this is what mindset is at, a level which we can't see. But when the situations come in, when things don't go our way, the mindset becomes difficult. That is, in fact, it's not, I don't think it makes it difficult per se. All I mean is that it determines how you exactly react in a situation, whether you will, succeed at something or not, right? Because when you want to succeed, there are going to be a lot of things that come your way. Things will not work your way. So to actually make it through these situations, a strong mindset is required, a growth mindset is required. Again, if you think something is too big, you probably won't even attempt it. If you think it's not your cup of tea, you might just leave it aside, right? So, this is where mindset exactly comes into the picture. Now, if I talk about the types of mindsets, I think there are two types which exist, and I'll also actually tell you where I am exactly, coming from. I'm actually taking the reference, like why I got this thought today was so there's this newsletter called Farnham Street. Every Sunday, they will send in an email about, something to think about. It's all about evergreen content, which determines, your way of life and such similar concepts. So anyway, today they sent in, talking about the two types of mindsets that exist and how can they essentially help us move forward, right? So this is the article, which, is essentially, completely by Carol Dweck. Everything that is written here is actually, her research, her study. So what I'll particularly take you into is this infographic that has been referred to over here. And here it says there are two types of mindsets, wherein one is your fixed mindset and the second is your growth mindset. And goes without saying that we all want to go towards the growth mindset. But before you go there, let's find out which mindset do you belong to. And here I will show you some steps, some measures which will tell you where you exactly belong, right? Now, a fixed mindset, there it's like, so there are two things. One thing is things which are our natural abilities. The second thing is the skills that we learn on our own. Now the thing is, when we are born, all of us are born with, different abilities, right? If we don't do much about them, they'll be there, but they will not grow. And what will also happen is that if you just let them be over time, they may also start to diminish, right? So that way you may be intelligent, you may be doing really great as a child, but if you want to continuously grow as an adult, you will need to, be able to be open to other skills, because life is going to be unpredictable, is what I have realized in, whatever years of life I have seen, right? So a fixed mindset, a is a space where, your intelligence is static. You have what you have, but you are not necessarily gaining more new skills. What you have, you're just, somewhere limited there. On the other hand, a growth mindset talks and it says that intelligence can be developed, right? So I think in these two lines itself, you can get the essence, where fixed mindset talks about, yeah, these are my natural talents. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. And you're just limited there. On the other hand, a growth mindset tells you that, okay, fine. You are aware of your strengths and you're aware of the areas you need to work on. And keeping that in mind, you work towards these skills. And why exactly do you do that? Because skills and intelligence are two things which can be attained, they can be acquired. How easy or difficult they will be, that depends on, your natural abilities or your strength areas, or how much you have, really used which part of your brain, right? So again, if we go further down, a fixed mindset, it actually leads to a desire to look smart, right? So what happens is, because your fixed mindset is there, you think it's very important for you to seem intelligent. Now the effect, the consequence of that is that you actually end up, going forward and being scared of making mistakes, trying new things, because when you try new things, there is a chance of failure, which is why, there will be an aversion to it, because you want to, look like, yes, I know it all, I am right. On the other hand, someone who has growth mindset is completely focused on learning. And anyone who wants to learn new things, like, this goes without saying, the initial phases, they're never easy. I've been into roller skating growing up. Right now, that's one of the biggest examples of my life, because I remember when I was a child, I was, having a tough time, and it was a literal pain in the ass, because obviously you fall down so many times while skating. And what happened was, somewhere that time, I felt like actually probably giving it up. But my mom actually pushed me. She's like, no, you know what, continue for a time. If I'd make an excuse for going to class, she's like, no, you will go. And over time, I saw things changed, and I actually became, one of the fastest roller skaters in my entire state. And I even made it to the nationals, right? So what this means is that when there is a growth mindset, even when things are not going your way, you're able to push through them, because your ultimate goal is to learn and not just to look good or to look intelligent. So you see, the entire perspective is different. So, which is why if you see other things like, challenges, again, with a fixed mindset, when you see a challenge, you either procrastinate or you end up thinking that you can't do it. And when you have a growth mindset, first you acknowledge, yes, there is something I need to learn. You figure out what to do about it, whether you're interested in overcoming it, because obviously having a growth mindset doesn't mean that every challenge that comes in your way, that, yeah, be it cooking, be it, waking up on time, be it knowing how to bake, be it knowing how to, do podcasts, you'll just do everything, you'll go crazy. But at least the things that are important to you, things that you see you need to do, you will go ahead and work towards them. Similarly, what happens is that, if I now just talk, about certain other things that I feel are, somewhere determining a fixed and a growth mindset, if I just quickly summarize them, what also happens in a fixed mindset is that, there is a thought process that you're just going to be limited by what you have, which is why when challenges come your way, you are generally a little scared, you're skeptical, you go into this entire loop of doubting yourself, thinking that you are good for, like, you start measuring yourself exactly against, how well or badly you perform towards something. Whereas in a growth mindset, you acknowledge that, okay, you are aware, this is what's happening, this is what's not, and what are the next steps you actually need to do, right? So what I want to tell you at this stage is, just add in my perspective as well. I think it's very difficult for us to determine whether we have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, because I think a lot of us may also have a combination of both, because that's what I feel about myself. But what's important to acknowledge is that in majority areas of your life, what are you exactly seeing? Now, the good part is that even if you see yourself having a fixed mindset in most parts of your life, right, you can still work on it. The number one step that you need to do is, firstly, to figure out where do you fall. Okay. And even if you fall in the fixed mindset phase, do not, underestimate yourself or push yourself down, because that's just going to stop you. And I actually read it somewhere else that if you have a fixed mindset, okay, what you end up doing is you become frustrated. So fixed mindset equals to frustration. What that exactly does is, when you have a fixed mindset and you don't perform well, you end up being frustrated. And because you end up being frustrated, you curse yourself, you put yourself down, and your entire perspective towards everything around your life becomes negative, right? Which is why you need to avoid that. Don't get frustrated or put yourself down. Essentially, what you need to do is acknowledge that, yes, this exists, embrace it with, like, an open mind, be okay with it, and then figure out what can you do. Now, what I would say is, if you want to change your fixed mindset, start doing one thing which you really enjoy. Okay, and do that for a bit of a time. Like, for example, if you're good at sketching and you enjoy that, make sure you sketch. If you can't do it every day, at least 3 times or 4 days a week, make sure you do it. And then upskill in sketching, see yourself improve there. What you can also do is, you don't need to take all the burden on yourself. If you are able to join a activity, join a curricular class, go and enroll there. You'll automatically see yourself evolve. There's nothing wrong in actually, having being dependent on a mentor. It's okay. If you know you need that mentorship, go for it. Even the best cricketers, even they need a coach, right? They can't literally do it themselves. So there's nothing wrong in actually wanting a coach, as long as you have the determination and the grit to put in the effort, right? So that is another thing that you can essentially do. And finally, just make sure that you again figure out what is it that you essentially want, what matters to you. And whatever matters to you, right? If a lack of skill is something that is stopping you from getting there, maybe that is a skill that you should start working on. And that is where you'll slowly start seeing yourself shift from, a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So yeah, those are just some quick thoughts which, I had when I read that particular article. Let me know if, what your thoughts are. If you found this entire episode useful, if you had any key takeaways, if you have any questions, you have any suggestions, post them in the comments below. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.